The third man phenomenon is a mysterious and perplexing experience reported by explorers, adventurers, and ordinary individuals in life-threatening situations. It's a phenomenon that blurs the line between the natural and the supernatural, leaving us with more questions than the answers. One of the most famous accounts of the third man phenomenon comes from Ernest Shackleton's harrowing 1916 Antarctic expedition. Shackleton and his team faced a dire situation when their ship, the Endurance, became trapped in ice. Forced to survive in harsh conditions, they embarked on a treacherous journey across mountains and glaciers to reach safety at a whaling station in Stromness Bay, South Georgia. But what's intriguing is that, during their grueling 36-hour march over the unnamed mountains and glaciers, Shackleton, Tom Crean, and Frank Worsley often felt as if they were not alone. They sensed the presence of a fourth traveler who provided hope and guidance despite never being physically present. In his book, South, Shackleton wrote about this mysterious companion, stating, "It seemed to me often that we were four, not three." Frank Worsley too recounted the bewildering experience, stating that he had a subconscious feeling that there were four of them instead of three. Their survival in such dark conditions was credited mainly to this unexplained presence, a presence that gave them the strength to carry on. T. Lawrence, also known as Lawrence of Arabia, was a British Army officer who reported experiencing the third man factor while leading Arab forces against the Ottoman Empire in World War I. In his harrowing moments, he heard a voice that gave him encouragement and invaluable advice. Mountain climber Joe Simpson documented his experience of the third man phenomenon in his 1988 book, Touching the Void. While climbing in the Peruvian Andes, Simpson suffered a severe leg injury and plummeted off a cliff into a crevasse. In his darkest hour, he heard a voice that offered encouragement and provided him with direction, guiding him back to base camp. In some accounts, individuals not only hear a third man, but also claim to see a figure materialize out of nowhere to offer assistance, only to disappear once the danger has passed. One of the most widespread and intriguing instances of the third man phenomenon occurred during a deadly tornado in Joplin, Missouri, 2011. Referred to as the Butterfly People of Joplin, several children reported being helped by angels during the disaster. According to the children's testimonies, these angels appeared as calming and comforting figures during intense fear and danger. They described them as resembling radiant and ethereal butterflies, providing solace and reassurance amid the storm's fury. Its widespread nature makes the Butterfly People of Joplin account particularly intriguing. It wasn't just an isolated report. Multiple children independently shared similar experiences. These children came from different backgrounds and were scattered across various locations in the tornado's path. Yet their stories converged around the presence of these angelic figures. Many adventurers and individuals in life-threatening circumstances have reported a similar phenomenon, a presence that intervenes at critical moments, offering encouragement and guidance, even when seemingly alone. The term third man syndrome or third man factor was coined to describe this strange phenomenon. It refers to the sensation of a presence, an extra companion during times of extreme stress and danger. Individuals rather than groups typically experience it, and it has been likened to a spiritual or supernatural encounter. T.S. Eliot's poem The Wasteland references this mysterious presence with lines that ponder, "Who is the third who walks always beside you?" This notion of an invisible but supportive companion has fascinated many, and it's a central theme in understanding the third man phenomenon. When we consider the explanations for the third man phenomenon, we enter a realm of intriguing possibilities. In his book, The Third Man Factor: Surviving the Impossible, writer John Geiger suggests several scientific explanations, such as biochemical reactions to misfiring brain activity. But he also leans towards a spiritual or religious interpretation, believing there's more to this phenomenon than meets the eye. Geiger proposes that the third man factor is not merely a hallucination, but a helpful and orderly guide that resides within us, akin to adrenaline. It's an enigmatic aspect of human psychology that may provide a source of strength during our most challenging moments. This idea hints at the profound notion that, as human beings, we are never truly alone, and that we can tap into this internal resource when we need it most.
I think it is an evolutionary development. And I think what's interesting is that we're essentially hardwired to survive, and this is one of the survival sort of coping mechanisms that we can fall back on in times of great stress. So To know that and to understand that we all have this capability, we all have this innately, is, I think, a really powerful sort of insight into, our mental state and our ability to cope with very difficult circumstances.
However, the mystery remains. What indeed causes the third man phenomenon? Is it a coping mechanism triggered by extreme stress? Is it the result of biochemical reactions in the brain? Or could it be something more profound, a guardian angel? Or
it was essentially a voice over my right shoulder which said, no, you have to try, you can't die. And at that point, from then on, for the entire day, this voice just gave me instructions. It was a presence. I could feel it over my right shoulder, but I never could, there was no images or no discussion. And it gave me information like, get that down coat, get that water bottle. And then as we moved across the valley, I would fall down and into the snow, and the voice would just say, okay, now make these arrows from blood from your face. And I would make these arrows from blood, and the voice would say, in case someone skis by, they'll see you. For most of the day, we went across the valley, and it was a constant companion.
These accounts, and Shackleton's and others, demonstrate that the third man phenomenon is not confined to specific circumstances or individuals. It can manifest in life-threatening situations, offering a glimmer of hope and guidance when all seems lost. One TikToker, Manny Johns, recounted her supernatural experience with the third man phenomenon. She felt compelled to share her story in response to a podcast episode discussing this enigmatic phenomenon. Back in 2019, she and her partner found themselves in a catastrophic car accident, one that left her disabled. The accident occurred when their car hydroplaned and collided with a tree by the side of the road. Interestingly, she and her boyfriend initially shared the same recollection of the accident. However, as they began to recount the events that followed, their stories took a dramatic turn. As Manny Johns recalls, her boyfriend's version of the story significantly differed, leaving him wanting clarification on her account. She vividly remembers being rescued from the wreckage of the car by a woman named Amber, who she later discovered had never actually been at the accident scene. However, what makes this account truly perplexing is the conflicting narratives of those who were present.
It was so real, y'all. It was so real. So I never heard from her again. Everybody on the scene was like, no, there was no Amber. Sorry, it was a man that helped you out the car. From the person who pays my bills perspective, he basically was like, you were screaming my name, bloody murder all the time until the man helped you out the car. And I'm like, oh. Like, I'm like, no, y'all. Like, Amber was there. So it was the craziest experience ever. And, I was really thankful that she was there. And, now I'm like, it is this, like, I talk to everybody and they're like, yeah, sometimes that happens, but wild, completely wild.
In the recent Israel-Gaza conflict, a young child's harrowing experience bore striking similarities to the third man phenomenon. Trapped under rubble for 4 agonizing hours due to a bombing, the child felt a profound sense of despair. However, during this dire ordeal, something extraordinary occurred. The child encountered what he described as an angel, bathed in a radiant light that exuded hope and reassurance. Like the third man in other accounts, this celestial being provided unwavering comfort and courage in the face of imminent danger. It conveyed a message of divine protection, reminding the child that he was not alone.
أنا من أول ما ركبت الجيت طلعت عليه ما لقيتوش مفتاح لهن فضلت 4 ساعات طلعوا والله أنا بعد ما نمت شفت شنو بس شفت والله.
In the world of the third man phenomenon, we find ourselves at the crossroads of science and spirituality, where the line between the natural and the supernatural is blurred. The many personal accounts baffle us, from explorers to ordinary individuals in dire situations. Is it a trick of the mind, a coping mechanism during extreme stress, or the intervention of something beyond our comprehension? If you enjoyed this exploration into the unexplained, Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing and spine-tingling videos on the paranormal. Join us as we dive into the mysteries challenging our understanding of reality. Thanks for watching.